Hey all, taking a quick look at the GiiKER Tic-Tac-Toe Bolt in this video. This is a handheld tic-tac-toe gaming console, a puzzle-type game that has a touch-sensitive pad on the front that you can use to interact and play against an AI, against a second player with a friend, family member, as well as a third mode, which is a memory function that you guys saw earlier in our demo, where it actually will flash a sequence of lights and you have to remember that pattern. After a couple seconds, the lights there will disappear. Now, this company, GiiKER, is actually an ecosystem brand of Xiaomi, perhaps better known for making smartphones, particularly in Asia, but they're venturing out into all types of lifestyle products. So some of their past offerings have included a smart slider type game, as well as a smart 3D Connect 4 board game was one of their other offerings, including even smart Rubik cubes that can connect to your phone via Bluetooth, allowing you to track the number of moves that you're taking, timing you, as well as teaching you the basics of how to reset the cube as well. With this tic-tac-toe being just their latest variant, it has also gained a bit of viral traction. Certain videos and shorts I've seen on YouTube have become quite popular featuring this lately, so I was also curious to take a closer look. So it's not only designed for kids, but also in situations where you might be offline, you don't have access to internet, you can take this as a puzzle game for game nights. And just like their Rubik Cube and Super Slide Connect 4 products, you can technically reduce your eye strain, I guess, because you're not just staring at your phone screen. Instead, you have something physical in front of you that you're interacting with. Taking a quick look at the packaging here, we have some of the modes iterated, including the Infinite Tic-Tac-Toe. So this means that the tic-tac-toe marks actually disappear every 4 moves that you make because you have limited space on the physical 3x3 board. And so it will continue until a player wins, with the oldest moves disappearing over time, as you saw in our earlier demo. And this product, compared to their Smart Rubik's Cube and Connect 4 board games, actually connect to your phone via Bluetooth for additional metrics that you can track, but on here, everything is saved locally on just the game board itself. Just keep that in mind. There's also another mode called Cover-Up Tic-Tac-Toe that uses physical pieces stored inside of the device that we'll see also in a moment, and it actually takes 2 AA batteries that can last for a pretty long time. I've already been using this one for a couple of months and I still didn't have to really change out the battery, but keep in mind that it's not a rechargeable unit on this particular version. Aside from the game board, we also have just a quick user guide that documents the various modes that you can play against, as well as a quick instruction on how to play the games. If you're not familiar, tic-tac-toe, you have to connect 3 of your tiles to win. This can be vertical, horizontal, or diagonal. And there's also the aforementioned cover-up tic-tac-toe, where if you have larger pieces, you can swallow up smaller pieces to form the win. This uses the physical pieces, which are stored underneath the touch-sensitive front pad. So if you want slightly more challenging gameplay, you can use these physical pieces instead of the touch-sensitive area, also if the unit is out of power, for example. But it also means if you're only using the computer section, you can technically have it detached and become even more compact. There's a simple power key on the front for playing against the computer, against a second player, as well as sliding to the third slot, which is the memory mode. And there is just going to be a mono speaker here on the back as well. Pretty simple, but feels solid enough from a build perspective. Capacitive kind of touch area seems to be pretty responsive, and the LED lights are visible enough as long as you're not in direct sunlight. Otherwise, down below here, the physical pieces in the cover-up mode, as you can tell, there are 3 different sizes. There's also going to be these physical grids, which can be assembled using just a couple of seconds. So this one does require you to place it onto a flat surface, looking something like this, because the largest size tiles no longer fit over the more compact size of the actual board. So just keep that part in mind. It's just a hidden compartment underneath. So again, in this particular gameplay method, if we just place a small tile on here first, the opponent that you're playing against can also use their pieces, or alternatively, if they have a larger piece available, they can use that to swallow over your smaller piece, kind of putting a twist on top of this classic game and just making the dynamics a little bit more challenging. So not bad, a few different creative ways to use this puzzle type console. So again, this might be an interesting stocking stuffer in the holiday shopping season, building off a pretty interesting catalog of smart puzzle type products from GiiKER. Maybe the only slight cons though would be there's no real game save state, so as we mentioned, it is extremely simple. You actually turn it off or you lose in between, it's not going to remember the point that you were last in. So those are some areas, along with maybe having a Bluetooth companion app support that could make it, I think, even more comprehensive, perhaps in the next gen revision. Nonetheless, it is a pretty fun twist on a classic game in a more modernized form, a nice idea overall.